ಐಟಂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಇರಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಚಿ ಚಿಕನ್ ಮಸಾಲಾ.
ಆಚಿ ಚಿಕನ್ ಮಸಾಲಾ.
Under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, India is going through a phase of deep and meaningful transformation. We are witnessing changes that will be remembered as defining milestones in our nation's journey. After nearly 75 years of independence, our government has taken a truly path-breaking step by ensuring fair and meaningful reservation for women in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. Today, the world is looking at India with admiration. At a time when many countries are grappling with conflict and instability, India is moving ahead with confidence driven by reform, stability, and vision. Peace and reform have become the foundation of our growth. What makes me particularly proud is the recognition being given to women's power in the world's largest democracy. Alongside Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vikasit Bharat, we are now building a strong and empowered Nari Bharat. To me, a woman represents strength in its purest form. She balances multiple roles as a mother, a sister, a wife, a daughter, and yet continues to be a pillar of support of our society. A woman is not just a role or a relationship, she is Shakti itself. This reservation should not be seen as a favor. It is in fact a recognition, a tribute to the strength and contribution of women in our society. We have all grown up hearing that a mother is the first teacher and that educated a woman is like educating a family. By bringing women into the core of our legislative system, we are strengthening the very foundation of our democracy. On this historic day, I truly believe the Mother India must be proud of all of us. I am really very happy that the implementation of the Women's Reservation Bill is being advanced and the strength of the Lok Sabha is being expanded to accommodate the women of India. There is a reason for my happiness. It was my party, the Janata Dal, and my father, Shri H.D. Devegowda ji, as Chief Minister of Karnataka, who first conceived the idea of 33% reservation for women in state assemblies and parliament. This was in 1995. He wrote to the then Prime Minister, Shri P. Narasimha Rao ji, about it and even created a small group of my party colleagues to meet leaders across party lines and canvass for his idea. Shri Devegowda ji became the Prime Minister in 1996 and showed enormous courage and commitment to bring his idea of women's reservation to Parliament as the 81st Constitutional Amendment in September 1996. His effort was ahead of its time. However, the bill lapsed as he did not have the necessary political support to continue in government. He ran a complex 13-party coalition government, which fell. The Congress, which was supporting his government from outside at the time, did not tolerate any of his progressive measures and withdraw support. There is very little difference between the Congress party then and the Congress party now. It has remained obstructionist. The grand old party can never give up on its old ways. Divine play has played me in the cabinet of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji when this historic amendment is being passed. Besides the small fact that it fulfills Shri H.D. Devegowda's dream in his own lifetime, the even bigger achievement is that it fulfills the aspirations of the women of India and brings great joy to half of our nation's population. I thank the Prime Minister for advancing the implementation of this bill and for making all of us in his team a part of history. Let me tell you what has unnerved the opposition about this amendment, especially the Congress. They feel insecure because they are unprepared to handle this massive change, which completely refreshes the Indian political landscape. They have lost touch with the people and do not know how to cope up with this transformation. They have always assumed that minorities and women are their vote banks. But ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has come to the helm, women in rural areas, among minorities, and in tribal regions have steadily come to believe in his leadership and the delivery capacity of the NDA government. What the Congress could not achieve in half a century, PM and the NDA government have achieved in a decade. Next, I want to address the case being made on behalf of the southern states that they will lose out in this exercise, that they will be overpowered by in the heartland. This is nothing but fear-mongering. I have been the Chief Minister of Karnataka twice, and I can say with certainty that the argument made by the DMK is their own. It does not represent the southern states. You should remember that the DMK has historically been uneasy with the Indian state. That has never been the case with other southern states. Shri N. Chandrababu Naidu ji has secured the support of all parties in Andhra Pradesh and passed a resolution in support of this amendment. Is he lesser patriot, or people in Telangana, Karnataka and Kerala reacting the same way as the DMK is reacting in Tamil Nadu? Sir, the Congress party, which has lost the capacity to think independently, which has lost the ability to develop its own arguments, is now being led by DMK's narrative. Sri Rahul ji called himself the younger brother of Sri M.K. Stalin ji some time back. But it appears after the seat sharing disputes that the elder brother is angry with his younger brother, but the younger brother is still looking for some love from the older brother. Can a national party like the Congress party go to Uttar Pradesh or Bihar or Madhya Pradesh and make DMK's argument on either devolution of central funds or decentralization or delimitation of constituencies? Can they make the anti-India argument there? Perhaps they can do it only if they have given up hope of contesting and winning in those states. Instead of getting the DMK to follow the national line, the Congress are sadly following the DMK's argument. Recently, when Congress DMK seat sharing talks for assembly elections were happening, Congress leaders were pleading for respect from the DMK. They were pleading DMK to form a coalition government and share power. In Kerala, what do we see? What are the Congress and CPM abusing each other? It is in the media for everybody to see and read. That is the dissonance that we see in the IND alliance. Is there any such dissonance that you see in the India? The opposition under the Congress has got into the habit of scaring people and creating a doomsday scenario about everything our government says and does. The people of India have begun to see through this. Just look at the number of issues the Congress-led opposition has raised in the recent past and has conveniently forgotten about it in a short period of time. Sri Rahul ji, who does not understand the head or tail of caste-based reservation, argued at one point of time that reservations should be proportional to the size of the caste population. But now, he does not want to extend that same argument to parliamentary representation. He and his party do not want more MPs representing a smaller size of constituents. India is 13.5 times larger than United Kingdom, but it has lesser number of MPs than UK's House of Commons. They have 650. Even when the strength of the Lok Sabha goes up to 850, in terms of proportionally representing India's population size, it will still be less than that of UK, but it is a huge step forward.
Sir, kindly
No,
conclude,
there is
sir.
no reduce. There is no reduce.
Sir, kindly conclude,
We are
sir.
getting 14 seats. Now we are 28. Now we are representing 28 seats. It will go up to 42. We are rising. When Prime Minister Modi ji planned the new parliament building, it was obvious and it was stated clearly that infrastructure was being expanded to accommodate more MPs after the delimitation process. But now the opposition behaves as if they knew nothing. The delimitation argument that the opposition had picked up is now irrelevant because our government has assured a 50% flat increase of parliament seats across the states. That means no state loses what they already have. In fact, they will gain. This gain is not just for the states, but for Indian democracy as a whole. Let me remind the opposition that the campaign to save democracy in 2024, Modi ji has shown the real way to strengthen democracy by empowering the women of this nation. I conclude by saluting his vision. Thank you, sir.